Taurus rising. How you doing, Taurus? This is your reading for the Leo full moon that's happening on the 12th of February. Big vibes coming through with this moon. Hello, my name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body. You just heard some vocal light language. You're seeing the physical form of it. And this brings in healing, attunement, and activation codes to the messages that want to come through in this reading. Well, Taurus. So I read for the rising signs. So for those of you who do not have Taurus in the first house, which is the rising sign, look to the house it does fall in. Look to the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes along with all the other meaning you've got going on in the sign of Taurus to the messages that come through, because it will be as if that Taurus energy has now energetically moved to the first house. So when I talk about the astrology for the rising sign, it will always still link in. You just got to add on your own natal chart meaning on top of it. For example, I've got Taurus in the 10th along with my North Node and Lilith, Black Moon Lilith. So I'd apply the themes of the 10th as well as the meaning of the North Node and Black Moon Lilith to what comes through in this reading. And so it will always connect. You just got to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So where is this happening for you, Taurus rising? Well, it's in your 4th house, your root system, your roots and your foundations, your ancestors, both blood and soul lineage, parental figures, the roof over your head, and the things that you do in private. And so I like to envisage a tree in the natal chart, and this is where the roots are. We need strong, healthy roots in order for our tree to grow. And yet there's a lot of trauma that goes on in the 4th, right? The ancestors are there, your parental figures, their sense of feeling safe and secure, all of that can bring up a lot of stuff. But they say this is a full moon here. Now, before I carry on with the reading, I'm going to be predominantly focusing on the houses and the themes of the houses. I'm not really going into too much detail about all the astrology. I've done that over in the collective reading, and that is, where I broke down the astrology of the exact moment of the full moon, how all the celestial bodies are talking to each other, that forms a story, forms a frequency that we're then working with over the next 6 months up until the Leo new moon. Forgot to mention that at the beginning. If you're watching this after the event, you're not missing out on any of the messages because I work with 6-month cycles. Now, I'm doing the tarot a little differently. So normally I shuffle for jumpers, and I'm really making a very conscious effort at the moment, and I feel like it's good for everybody, is trying different forms of connecting with source, different forms of intuition, and the modalities around that, and learning to trust those things that we're unfamiliar with, and that whatever is going on is in alignment. So I'm going to be shuffling this deck while I'm talking about the houses. Cards have been coming out while I've been doing it, and they're kind of like the pre-message before what comes here. And then at the end of talking about the astrology, I'm going to cut the deck into 3, and we're going to get cards for 3 different piles. The first pile is going to be 2 cards, and this is, so full moons mark completions, right? A closing out of a particular part of a cycle. And so that I'm getting 2 cards for that. One is what's closing out on the sort of more shadow side, right? The unintegrated energy, or the, the conditioning and that. So what's first one of the cards is going to be what's closing out from the shadow side of the 4th house energy, and what's being integrated, right? Of the more integrated energy, right? So both sides of the same coin. And then pile 2 is going to be 1 card of what's the download that you're then going to be working with over the next 6 months because of what got closed out and integrated here. And then pile 3 is going to be a card for how to work with the new download that's coming through. We'll also get the card at the bottom of the deck, as well as a card from 2 different oracle decks at the end of the tarot. So full moon in the 4th. Ooh, feeling more intuitive in your home space, right? The moon represents our intuition, our emotional body. Whoa, okay, so you got the 10 of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, 10 of Swords in reverse, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, in terms of when I'm talking about the moon. And I'm not going to go into what those cards mean, because otherwise this reading would be 5 million hours. I'm trying to keep these really short, and as I'm trying to practice doing short readings. So the moon in the fourth, right? So the moon, our emotional body, where our needs, our intuition, whether our needs are being met or not, how to give and receive nourishment. And so the moon at her fullest in the fourth, heightened intuition around, you know, your what does your root system mean to you? What are your foundations? Really feeling that your needs are perhaps being met in the home space, right? Feeling good at home, you know, really getting an alignment in the home. Itoela dialima, definitely can see a release around parental figures, wounds around that, ancestors, all of that thing of whether you feel safe, right? Both figuratively and literally. Itofala dianima otoela, ishanimotonia, as well as a really strong open connection to your root system. I could really see like a lovely download come through that allows you to be more intuitively guided to nurture and nourish and give your root system what it needs in order for you to grow at a better level. You may find at home getting a lot of psychic insights, a lot of intuitive insights, letting go of distorted love languages from those ancestors, from the parental figures that has meant that your intuition may have been a bit squiffed, right? May have led you to certain dynamics in your life that don't nourish you and don't fulfill your needs. And I can really see with all the other astrology that's going on with this moon of a great liberation. So that's Eight of Cups and the Magician, as I say that, right? Of walking away from unconscious conditioning to get you back to your own manifestation power. So the sun, the sun is up in the 10th house. This is your life path, right? Your career. Career doesn't have to be life path. It can just facilitate it. Visibility, reputation, bosses, how the big outside world sees you. But the sun is there. So often where the sun is in the full moon, we get an understanding of the work that we've done that's reflected in where the moon's at. And so this may be you feeling really good about your path, right? You may have someone who has a, you know, not actually a sense of authority over you, but someone more that you respect, who like sees what you are, sees what you're doing, perhaps in regards to your career, acknowledges that, and then you feel really good at home, right? You're feeling safe and secure. Perhaps it's a job, getting a pay rise, that kind of thing, getting that promotion. Or just generally that sense of acknowledgement of you and your path and how you show up. And that can just then help us feel good in our root system. As well as you having more clarity, right? With the sun, more vision of what your path is, what the next stage is with your career, that, you know, is just helping you, as I say, just feeling more settled and more grounded in your home space. Now, Uranus is over in your sign, Taurus, squaring the sun and the moon, right? Uranus has gone direct. When did it go direct? Where's my sheet of paper? It went direct this week. It was, or maybe it was the week after. Bear with me. I'm going to get it up because obviously it's significant. So Uranus went direct on the 30th or 31st of January, just after that Aquarius new moon, which was the last new lunation that we had. And so that was in your first house, your house of self, how you embody yourself in your actions and your deeds, right? It's your, you know, it's the lens in which you move through these cosmic waters. And so Uranus is the great liberator, the path clearer. It wants you to be uniquely and confidently and comfortably being yourself, right? And not conforming to what other people's expectations are. And it's squaring the sun and the moon. So what this feels like is there's perhaps like this awareness of you, like your real unique qualities and how you walk your talk. Just this real sense of, you know, whether it's the external world that's recognizing it or you seeing that really clearly about yourself, that's allowing you to like feel your heart open in your home, in your foundational energy of like, I've got this, I'm going to do this and nothing's going to stop me. So, you know, Uranus in the first, very independent, very sort of, you know, very future thinking. Ooh, no, we've got the death card. Ishale, that's Scorpio, that's where Juno is. Of letting, you know, Uranus would have helped you in its retrograde phase, let go of a lot of restrictions around you fully embodying yourself, right? And so bringing in that sort of more galactic energy, that more universal truth within yourself. that is particularly unique to you, and the sun will be highlighting that, right? You're going to have a clarity through your actions that you may suddenly start to do certain things that you haven't done before, and that's like, oh, that's in alignment with the path. Juno is over in Scorpio in your 7th house of one-on-one relationships, business, friendship, love relationships, as well as your relationship with source. It's those important people in your life. Juno's there. Now, I've broken down all of these things in the collective reading. Pull collective tarot cards for all of them to see what the vibe was. And Juno is helping us let go. She represents commitment. You're just in your ride or die. So there's been a heightened level of commitment to your understanding of the other, right? To what it is that you truly need from the other, and letting go of old wounds. This can be your commitment to source as well. Because I really see when we get transits in the 7th, we're more in alignment with source in ways that we aren't normally. And Juno, as I said, is this level of commitment. So these two are opposite each other and square the sun and the moon. And this means we've got a grand fixed cross between self, roots, other, path. And now squares, which is what we've got here. We've got a grand fixed cross, like all the fixed energies being activated, and they're all squaring each other, or opposing, which are both hard aspects. And a square is linked into Mars, conflict, drama, frustration, winning at all costs. If these things do come up over the next 6 months, just know, right? One, it's letting you know. It's giving you a tool to think about, well, how do you want to engage with this, right? Does it even really matter? If it does, how do I want to operate from? Do I want to operate from a place of drama and conflict, or can I find some way of elevating it? It's also highlighting what's being released as well as letting you know that there's friction here, which when there's friction means we can create and manifest in the 3D world, because that's what squares are all about. Grand fixed square is about big manifestation in the 3D world. And we can feel like we're being pulled in lots of different directions. So the self, home, the other, work, all of those things over the next 6 months. If you're feeling very overstimulated, being pulled in lots of different directions, feeling quite overwhelmed, just do a little bit of a breath work, meditation, clear your energy, soften your energy, release, and then see what instinctively, intuitively comes forward from either of those houses, because then you know which direction to focus on. And the more that you start that practice, the more you'll then just become in alignment with what all of these 4 houses wish to bring to the table, and you'll turn that very sort of potentially frustrating grand fixed cross into a generator of power. So you got a high level of commitment of what's really important to you with the other, right? This deeper vision and clarity of the path, your intuition, the sense of your heart opening that's allowing you to feel safe and secure in your foundations. And then that sort of great liberator of Uranus over in your 1st house of the self, of really bringing in the confidence to walk your own path, right? And know that you're drawing towards you that which brings you abundance. Now, traditionally, the sun card came flying out as I said that. Traditionally, so Leo is ruled by the sun, right? So the sun over in Aquarius is influencing the moon. So this sense of what's being established and stabilized and upgraded in the 4th is being influenced by the path, right? So you've got to trust in the changes, trust in the activations. They're aligning you with your path at a higher level. Now Saturn traditionally rules Aquarius, so Saturn is influencing the sun, therefore influencing the moon. And Saturn for you is over in Pisces, well, it's for everybody, is over in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, friends, groups and alliances, and reaping the benefits from your 10th house. So Saturn's going, hey sun, hey moon, let's get this in alignment with the longer term hopes and dreams, with the longer term benefits of your life path. Right, okay, let's cut the deck 3 times. Itu, itu, ituena. Dishinima, dieto, tot ishanima. Ishanimo, toela. Etanima. Ishinima. Dufala. Dishanama. Ishinimo, leshinimo, toela. Ditini. So let's get into the tarot. So what we've got here in pile 1, Dinama, Dishinimo, Dofana, is what shadow aspect is being closed out, what cycle you've been doing the work is being now closed out, as well as what's being integrated and completed in terms of more of the more expansive energy, right? Okay, so we have for the shadow, we have the 10 of Wands, and interestingly enough, this came up for Scorpio, who I just read for, and this is sort of the weight, the burden, right? The not being able to enjoy this incarnation, not being able to enjoy the ride, having all the things to do, all the responsibility, the weight of it all, like Atlas having the world on your shoulders. You know, this figure looks like it's carrying the world. It's hunched over, right? That means bad spine. You know, when we've got bad spine, yeah, it's very karmic, right? This figure can't even see that it's a beautiful day, right? Look at that. Do we really all want to walk around like that? Like this exhausting existence, and not even be able to find the joy in the little things while we're doing it. So this is about your root system, your home, right? The burden of carrying stuff from the ancestors, right? That this struggle is always real, that there is no home, right? You're never feeling safe and secure. You always feel like you're doing the things in order to get there, but you're never getting there. Dishanima oyala ma dishanimo yala ale mocho shanima. You know, this is what's being closed out. Itinima. What is being integrated? 5 of Swords in reverse, here for it. So this is the work for me, the most difficult card in tarot. The bully victim cycle, right? The sense of domination and subjugation. High-end conflict, the bully in the mind, the bully that then goes out in the world and explores and comes back to us with more bullying and more victim-held. Right, this is in the root system, right? So really letting go of conflict, of frustration, of the sense of domination at home, right? And that can be like you can never enjoy your off time, Itala, because this is air energy, which is Aquarius, because you're always thinking about that career, right? Itala, right, of that being still and being in that space. This is also the bully victim space, right? And we are both of those things. We've all been there. So often the bully, predominantly, I would say 99%, was the victim. And so we hold a lot of that energy within us, and we hold that from the ancestors, from our parental figures, that has caused this conflict, this discord in the root system, where there's always conflict, there's always grief, right? This figure has won the 3 of Swords, right? Of that bully in the mind, the bully in the ancestral roots. You've cleared that sense of peace, that sense of rest that's coming in. You know, as I said, this for me is the most difficult card. It's a very archetypal card that we're working through, the theme of it as a collective. And for that to be released in the root system, where you can nourish yourself beyond that really dense paradigm of conflict, of competition, of scarcity, of glee at others' pain, you know, all of that kind of horrendous stuff that we see out in the world, that we internalize. They have my hands gripped over the back of my neck and they've pulled my head down. Duela di shadow. I really love this. Okay, so this is the activation. The activation that's coming down with this full moon for you that you're working with over the next 6 months. 9 of Cups. After releasing this, not surprised. So this is inner emotional alignment, right? That they want you to, this is what's coming through. This is what the activation is, where you feel confident, abundant, grateful for every moment of existence. And when we practice that, when we really get in alignment with that, We then start it seeing show up in the external world. But this figure is very confident in their emotional body and who they are, their satisfaction, their joy, right? Their gratitude, the abundance within themselves. And I love that for your root system. I think that's so beautiful. Because you've let go of this weight and this conflict, there's just an ease and a confidence of spirit that's coming in. And that's going to give you so much possibility of how you feel in your body, that's allowing that root system to really start to blossom and appreciate every given moment. That's going to have like a feedback loop, right? Of where your heart's going to start opening. You're going to start to feel very more yourself rather than the conditioning of the ancestors and the parental figures. Right, how to work with this hi Scorpio. Remember, this came out before. Okay, so there's this awareness of so they're wanting you to focus. This is your 7th house, so this not going to be for everyone, as always. You know when it resonates for you, right? Certain one-on-one relationships that may have been based on all of this. I've just got the song "I'm Walking Away" in my head from the troubles in my life. I'm trying to think what the next line was. Anyway, because this is all about walking away from things that have had an authority over you. And that you're protected while you do this, right? There's a big transformative transition going on that's getting you from here to here. But as I said, Scorpio is over in the 7th. So certain relationships in your life that are based on this conflict and this exhaustion, they may just be falling away, and be at peace with that, because always trust and know that if they've got a soul contract that's in alignment with the next stage of your evolution, they'll either come back or they'll evolve, right? It's up to them what they do and how they walk their path, rather than trying to hold on to things. This is also, this acknowledgement that there may be certain things that are a part of you. I talk more about this with Juno in the collective reading, that have defined who you are. Perhaps this is so at your root that it's so hard to get to this, right? That there's an aspect of things that are in transition here, and really be open to things falling away. Because it's getting you here. Know that you're protected. Know that it's serving you. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, which is the root energy of pile 1, we've got the Fool, which is Uranus, and that's so linked into this, right? The Fool has left the village. The Fool is guided by its heart. It sees life, the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly, as a pure joy of existence, right? The awe and wonder of the nature of reality. So often we can struggle with that because of all of this, and because of all of this, right? That sense of jadedness. And it's really saying what's being activated with you is this, Taurus, where you are letting go of quite some phenomenal stuff, that you're stepping into a new reality, Taurus. Right, so from the oracle decks, I chose the Gateway of Light activation by Carl Gray, because all the 4 fixed signs, they're all aspecting each other nearly by degree, every single one of them. Right, this is a powerful aspect, and it feels like a portal. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pick a deck that represents sort of more high vibe energy, like portal energy. So what's the portal that's being activated for you, my lovely Tauruses? Didn't want to show it. What portal's being activated for you at this full moon? And then we're going to get some wisdom from Rainbow Brainskull, which is my Scorpio deck. What does Rainbow Brainskull want to tell? I mean, the difference from that 10 of Wands, 5 of Swords to the 9 of Cups and the Fool. Di anima, due scenima, o it anima, duela, di anima, di sheni. And with something so profound, we can get really discombobulated, Right, my whole reality is currently dissolving. I've never felt the way that I'm feeling right now in my whole life, this most consistently. I'm in awe of what's being transformed. I've got Pluto square my Pluto, and Pluto transiting opposite my Venus, who's also square my Pluto. Like this is big. I just am thinking of the death card. I happen to have Pluto in Scorpio. That neutrality is so important with this card, right? In terms of the honoring of the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, that it just, with the Fool and the Death card showing up, right? Of like this rebirth. That be really open to the change. I cannot recommend that enough. So let's get we have the portal that is opening. We have star gathering, stars aligned, remembering home, soul, family. There's something powerful about looking up into the midnight sky, seeing that vast openness. We recognize that we are a part of something that is beyond our understanding. This card brings that feeling directly to us. That feeling of utter connectedness to the stars, where we fall in and out of the dream state and wonder about the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. Very Fool energy, very Fool. Oh, look at Itali Motuila. And obviously lol, home. Star gathering is a powerful card. It's the energy of home. Before we joined the cycle of life as a human being, we were part of the cosmos, and that feeling of being connected to the stars is a memory of what we were before. This card reminds us that we have star power and star potential, but we are not the only star in the world, for when we switch on our light, we attract more star energy and even our own star family. So again, like, this feels, you know, more of the denser frequencies, and this feels aligned with this activation of even if you're still, you know, got issues with the parental figures, maybe there's some conflict going on at home with whatever's going on. I'm not getting that particularly strongly, but I'm using it as an example that there's something being activated within you where you know that bigger connection to source, you know that bigger connection to your soul family, where you're not feeling as alone as you used to. For some of you, this is going to be about, you know, engaging and interacting with your soul family, perhaps those guides, the team from a lineage that you may not have been connected to, or at least they were there and you won't be able to connect to them properly. I feel like that's going to come in a bit more, as well as, you know, activating a cycle of being drawn towards those who have a similar soul family frequency when you're out and about in the world. The stars have aligned. You have found the lost pieces of yourself and your energy, and that's how you can get into this space. And now is your time to shine. You are magnetic, attracting people, energies, and opportunities that will allow your dreams to unfold. You know, Saturn is in the house of hopes and dreams. This is brilliant. This is a time of wishes fulfilled. That is, you know, I very rarely say that about this card, but it is traditionally the wish fulfillment card. All of your dedication, focus, and dreaming has paid off, and now you can reap the rewards. It's important for you to know that this plane of existence is your rightful place, and not to spend too much time trying to transcend this reality, for you chose to be here at this time. Make the most of this powerful opportunity if you are feeling particularly connected to certain individuals at this time. It's because you're finding your star family, beings you connected with before you entered this cycle of the physical incarnation. And as long as you are connected to yourself, you are home. Visualize yourself shining like a star in the heart of the universe. See yourself radiating warmth and light. Let your energy become magnetic. And draw, my toes are wiggling at that, and draw more light and other stars to you. Be open to identifying these beings. They are your family. And now we have a little support from Rainbow Brainskull. Out argue bad narrative in head. Could be very much linked into this, right? Even though this is integrated, doesn't mean it doesn't come up, right? And it really does help you let you know how little of your time is being taken up with this energy. So if it does show up, it's just letting you know, hey, look, it's no longer all the time, right? And be really kind to the distortions that may be kicking around. If you argue for your limitations, you will be allowed to keep them. Both sides can always be argued. Defend the future you wish for. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. So what are you going to believe? That you can or that you can't? What are you going to let go of? Right, I'm going to very quickly cut the deck to see what came with this. Relax, it's still just the loading screen, right? So you're doing a lot of prep work in your foundations, and so that gives you that sense of breath, a sense of breathing space of bringing this in, right? Trust in the process, and just imagine those cups being filled in your root system, because it's also acknowledging that there's still some stuff to let go of and realize that you are no longer in the old reality, but the transition phase of integrating this, remember it's still a loading screen, is going to take some time. It's all going to be relative to your charts. Cut the deck to put this back, and we've got the higher heart activation. Dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. And at the bottom of the deck, emerald tablet activation, cosmic ordering, divine alchemy, conscious manifestation. Right, so trust in what is being dissolved and let go of, my lovely Tauruses. This is powerful. The shift, whoop, and bing. Couldn't, just wild. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Don't forget, 50% off all personal readings up until the end of the 12th of February, at the end of the full moon. Be good to yourself, Taurus. Be good to those around you. Safe travels and be well until we meet again.